Hello, everyone. Can you all hear me well? Can you use the chat box and say hi? Hello. You can use the chat box. Don't use the Q&A tab. Am I audible to all of you? Is the audio clear? Great. Also, is the screen visible? Just to check once if you are able to see the screen. Awesome. Okay. Welcome everyone to this session on steps in doing data analytics project. We'll be going over the process of how do you create a data analytics project. Very excited to be here. We'll be sharing some information about how the world of analytics works, what are the kind of projects that are really useful, and what you should be doing in order to get a good project under your belt. So exciting workshop will give you all the knowledge about different applications of data analytics, and then you can think about which domain you should be selecting in order to do your project. We'll be waiting for a couple of more minutes just to ensure that all the participants are joining in. Till then, if you can just say hi, hello in the chat and tell us where you're from, that will help others to know as well. So I'm Saurabh, I'm joining in from Bangalore. Would love to know where you're all joining in from. Hello. Um, Lebanon, Nigeria, very interesting. South Africa, UBIS, UAE, Nairobi, Singapore. Aisha, good to meet you. South Africa, Philippines, Nigeria. Okay. Agreed. Okay. Nice to have you all here. Very excited. So let's begin with the guidelines of the sessions so that we are clear on, what are some of the rules for this particular sessions. The session is only on the listen mode, so you need to type in your questions in the chat box. We can't unmute and ask the questions, so please note the chat box that you're using currently would be the primary mode of communication between you and me. So feel free to use the chat box. Unfortunately, we can't unmute and speak because of the audience that we have here. Let's make the session interactive. So please be active in the session. Try to give your point of view, try to share your thoughts. Tell me whether you are able to follow along the content. Tell me if you want me to go deeper into a certain concept. I'll try to accommodate that. So please be active in the chat box. That's the primary mode of communication for today's class. I'm sure many of you are joining from different parts of the world and internet could not be that great. So just in case if you drop off or you're not there for a few minutes and you want to rewatch the recording of the session will be shared with you. Also the PPT that I'm using, the content that I'm using, both of that will be shared with you after the end of the session. So whatever email you used for registering for this particular course, you will have to check out that for getting the recording of this particular class. So do remember the session will be recorded. The content will be shared with all of you on the registered email that you used to get into this particular class. And finally, a small feedback form will be launched at the end of the session. Please fill that up. It helps us improve the quality of the session. Your feedback matters to us. So please spare 5 minutes in order to share the feedback about the session. Okay, so this is certain guidelines that will follow during the course of the session. Let's start off with my introduction. My name is Saurabh. I'm joining in from Bangalore in India. I have about 9+ years of experience in the domain of data science and analytics. Currently, I'm working with this e-commerce company in India called as Meesho. It's into it's into e-commerce, doing really well. Before to Meesho, I was working with LinkedIn for about 3.5 years. I'm pretty sure everyone here is using LinkedIn for finding out the next best opportunity. So I was working with LinkedIn in their sales team. I was leading the sales insights team in India, and we would help the sales team make better pitches to their client using the data that we get on LinkedIn. So I spent about 3.5 years working with LinkedIn. Before to LinkedIn, I was working with Airbnb for about 2 years. One of those companies still in the world who is offering remote jobs. So just in case if you're interested in taking up a remote job, Airbnb is that company that you should definitely target. Uh, I was there for about 2 years. It was more into product analytics space. So it was more to ensure that the customer who comes to the website is given the best experience possible. Before to LinkedIn, before to Airbnb, I was working with Walmart for about 4 years through this company called as Mu Sigma. And therein I spent almost 4 years learning about retail analytics and specifically related to large data because Walmart would have millions of transactions happening every minute. So how do we work on such a large data? How do we derive insights from this large data? That is what I learned there. And I was in probably all the segments of the retail. So supply chain, healthcare, e-commerce, customer analytics, every part of the customer journey probably have played a part in working with data for driving decisions. So this has been my career. Very pleased to be here. Very excited to be here. Looking forward to the session that we have today. Okay. What is in the agenda? What is the things that we'll be covering today? So of course, we'll learn about what is data analytics, how it is used, why you should be learning data analytics. After that, we'll be learning about the steps in data analytics. I'll go in detail. What is the step? What is the tool? What is the step? And what is the tool that you need to use in every step? And what are the kind of skill set that you need to learn? So we'll be covering that in today's session. If you have any questions in general with respect to analytics, its future, its career path, anything that you may have, we'll have a question and answer round. So you can definitely use that time to ask any particular questions. And after that, we will, I'll share some of my mentoring experience along with, taking the sessions. I also take active part in delivering sessions of DAE batches. So I would love to share some experience with all of you. And of course, we'll be having Mohit, who would be giving us the walkthrough about this beautiful program that has been designed for professionals like you in order to harness the skills of data analytics. So he will be giving us the walkthrough about the program at the very end. Okay, so this is what we have. So without, let's straight away get into the particular topic. Okay, if you observe these two charts, this is telling us the story about why data analytics or why learning about data is so important. If you look at the graph on the right hand side, can I say that every minute a huge amount of data is getting generated? As we speak, can I say a lot of Zoom sessions are happening in parallel? As we speak, can I say many YouTube videos are getting uploaded? Can I say that many people are watching YouTube as we speak? There are about 2.45 billion users on YouTube. And every time they go to YouTube, a large amount of data is getting generated. If you observe Netflix, in 1 minute, people watch around 252 hours of videos. So as human interacts with machine, can I say that large amount of data is getting generated? If you go to Instagram, for example, if you're scrolling on Instagram, does Instagram capture a lot of your information? What do you think? As you go to the Instagram, you open Instagram, does Instagram capture a lot of your information? Yes, no? What do you think? Does he capture your details as soon as you log in on Instagram? Yeah. For example, if you log in on Instagram, does it capture which post did you see? It captures which post did you like. It captures which post you did not like. It also captures that, by the way. It captures which advertisement did you see. It also captures which advertisement you saw but did not click on. It also looks into the advertisement that you saw and probably saw it for the entire period of time. So it captures almost every information that is available that he can capture about the user. Now, if he's capturing this large amount of information from the user, can I say it also needs a large amount of space to store it? Otherwise, where will we store that particular information? He can capture all the information he wants, but in order to capture, can I say there needs to be a hardware, there needs to be a place where he can store all of that information, isn't it? Otherwise, what's the, like, if their memory, if let's assume Instagram memory keeps on getting full, will Instagram be able to capture all your information? No. Now, what happened was, because of the clouds, as somebody is saying in the chat box, because of the cloud, the companies are able to capture large amount of information and store that large amount of information at a very low cost. If you look at the graph on the on the left hand side, it used to cost us $1 million to store 1 GB of data in 1980. Could you imagine, like 1 GB of data, if you were to store the information, it would cost us $1 million. As the time has progressed, as the industry has become much more sophisticated in electronics and telecommunication, the cost of storage has reduced so drastically that it costs a cent now to store the data, isn't it? If you have observed, your phone nowadays has more memory than probably your laptop has. If I'm not wrong, just compare your laptop memory with your phone memory and you'll find that your phone has more GB of data compared to, let's say, your old laptop. And why is that happening? Because the cost of storage of data has reduced drastically over the years. And because the cost of the data of storage of the data has reduced drastically, can I say that companies are capturing more and more information about the users? They are spending a lot of money in order to store more data about the users. Like, for example, in Instagram case, it's not just capturing what you like, it's also capturing what you did not like, so that he can give you a better recommendation of the feed that you're interested in. It looks into your likes pattern. It also looks into the pattern of the things that you did not like. And based on that, he tries to create a feed which is much more customizable to you. So this is what is happening. A huge amount of data is getting generated as we speak. And this particular data that is getting generated is stored at a very low cost because of clouds and everything. And that is leading to large amount of data available for the companies to analyze on, right? And what has happened because of the cloud? Previously, it was a server based. When I say server based, just imagine that you have a pen drive. Now, when you have a pen drive, can I say you need to be closer to the pen drive? Or let's say you have a hard drive. Can I say you have to be closer to the hard drive? You need to connect your hard drive to the laptop and then only you can utilize that data. But because of the cloud, these are cloud or these are data centers all over the world. And because these are all over the world, you need not be in the same location where your data resides. And because of that, can I say that nowadays we can access any data from any part of the world at any time of the day? Do you think that has become possible? If I'm sitting in US and I want to understand the data about the users in some other part of the country, if I want to analyze the business in some other part of the country, I can do that because the cloud enables me to access data from anywhere in any amount at any given point of the time. So now these are the two main driving factors that are leading to huge amount of data that is getting generated, processed, and analyzed. And if you see this particular slide, what it's telling is that we have got about 85 trillion zettabytes of data getting generated every year. But out of that, the companies right now are only able to utilize, say, 1/4 of it. They are not being able to utilize the other part of the data that you are storing. So there's this huge gap that is being created in the industry where they have the data. It is stored at a very low cost. It can be accessed from anywhere in the world. But because there are not enough skilled professionals, there's a huge gap in which this data is not been analyzed. It's been created, it's been stored, but it is not been utilized. So the companies, even though they are spending a lot of money in capturing the information, storing the information, it is of no use if you're not utilizing it. In order to utilize this amount of data that you see in here, they need professionals who has the right skill set in order to use this data and use this data for making certain decisions, right? So this is what the macro environment stands for. If we want to look into future, what do you think? Will this amount of data that is getting generated, will it continue to increase or will it decrease? What do you think? The amount of data that is getting generated, will it continue to increase or decrease? It will continue to increase, right? And what do you think? The cost, will it increase or decrease? As we get more new advanced technologies, what do you think will happen to the cost? It will again decrease. So can I say more data? No, it will not. For sure, it will not increase. The cost of storage of data, it's on a declining trend, right? I'm pretty sure if a new chip comes, anytime a new chip comes, it stores more data at a lower cost. And that's the reason why we are able to have a cost decrease. So your cost of storage is decreasing, amount of data is increasing. And why it is increasing? Can I say that because all the devices that human uses now are connected to internet? Did you imagine that your car would actually be running on fuel plus the data? Nowadays, it does not run on fuel. It also runs on data. Can I say that your watch, which was normal giving you time, nowadays it is also connected to internet? And because it is connected to internet, can I say more and more data is getting generated? Your TV, which was a normal TV where you would just watch some shows, now it has become a smart TV. And why is it a smart TV? Because it is connected to internet. And because it is connected to internet, it is creating more and more data. So in future, going from here on, more data will be generated, more data will be stored. And if more data is stored, you need professionals who can harness that particular data in order to help the companies make decisions. And this is where the opportunity lies. And that's where the skill set of learning data analytics becomes so important. Okay, now I'll try to give you the overview about how analytics as a space is used. What are the steps that is required? What are the tools that are required in every step so that you have a clear roadmap on what are the skill set that you should be learning in order to harness this opportunity that we are seeing in front of us, where the companies have a large amount of data, but they don't have the resources to work on that data. So how do you enable yourself to become that part of that particular journey is what we'll see next. Okay, I'll just use some scribble board to explain it. Just in case if you're not able to understand, do let me know about it. Okay, let's see this. So any organization that you're working with, can I say they have business problems? Right? And from this business problem, can I say they need to make decisions? Say the business problems could be the sales is going down, customers are leaving, customers are not coming back, the ratings is going down, conversion rate is going down, the conversion rate is not increasing. Can I say these are some business problems that the company faces? Right? And on this business problem, they need to make decisions. So there is a problem. This is your point A. This is your point B. Now, in order to travel from point A to point B, there would be different options. Can data help solve this particular problem? If there is any business problem that is going on, can we take the help of the data in order to solve that particular problem? What do you think? Absolutely, yes. There are different ways. You can just close your eyes, rely on the gut feeling and make a decision. That's also a legit way. I don't know how successful it would be, but I guess data allows you to give much more concrete confidence on the decision that the companies are making because it is backed by data. So in order to travel from business problem to decision, we need to take the help of the data. Right? We need to take the help of the data. Now, even before we start with the data, as the data analyst, can I say the first and the most important step for you is to understand what is the business problem? If you're not aware about the business domain, if, for example, you are in supply chain and you have no idea about consumer behavior in marketing, do you think you will be able to make the better sense of the numbers? No, right? Let's say if I give you the data of the sports that you have never seen, even if you have the data that is required, will you be able to analyze it really well? Not much, right? So can I say the step one in the whole process is to understand the problem really well? Right? This is the most underrated skills that is there. Most of the people would focus on the data and the tools, but trust me, being in this industry, understanding the business problem is the most important step in the whole process. Okay. Now, how do we know, how do we solve, or how do we understand a business problem? How do we understand the root problem is the question. Okay, in order to understand the problem, the first and the most important step is, if we ask the right questions, can I say that we'll be able to understand the problem really better? I always give this example about a doctor. If you go to a doctor, you're not feeling well, you go to a doctor. Does the doctor directly give you medicines? Straight away, he's like, okay, take this medicine, you're good. Will you do that? No, right? So if you get a problem, if there is a business problem, will you directly jump onto the data? Not really. Just like the doctor, what does he try to do when he wants to understand what is the problem? What does he do most of the time? Does he ask a lot of questions? Yes, he asks a lot of questions, right? He's asking a lot of questions. He's trying to understand you much better. So he's asking you a lot of questions. Can I say you can ask the right questions only if you have the knowledge of the domain? Right? If you have the domain knowledge, only because he has learned, he has spent a lot of time in understanding that particular domain. So if you know the knowledge, if you know the domain, then only you will be able to ask the right questions. So if you are in marketing, if you know in and out about marketing, how marketing works, if you know the business of marketing, then only if there is any problem related to marketing, you will be able to ask the right set of questions. And if you are able to ask the right set of questions, will you be able to understand the business problem really well? Okay, so are you getting the process? Understand the domain, ask the right questions. That will help you understand the business problem really, really well. Once you understand the problem, okay, don't proceed if you're doing any project, don't proceed. If you have, directly don't proceed with the data. First, try to understand the business problem really, really well. Once you understand the business problem, can I say that you need to find out the step 2 would be to find out the relevant data sources that will help you solve the problem, isn't it? Because there is an ocean of data that is available. The companies are capturing mindless information about the users. There will be like many, many data points that will be available to you. Can I say the next step in the process where you need to think and analyze is find out what are the relevant data sources that you need to use? So can I say this step is nothing but converting the business problem into the data problem? Yeah, that's the step 2 that we have to do. Understand the business problem and convert it into a data problem. Right? This is also pretty difficult, by the way, because this again requires you to have a very good understanding of the business, because for one information, you will have like multiple sources of data. So how do you navigate that ocean of data to find out the best data available out there? That is where you'll have to spend a good amount of time. And do you think once you have understood the data, once you have identified what are the best data sources that can help you solve that particular problem, do you think the data is in a cleanest of the format? Not yes, no. Do you think the data is in the most amazing format, which you can start analyzing on in the real world, in the practical world? Any experience anyone has? No, right? It is not a very clean data. So in this part, can I say the step 3? Step 2 is also to extract the data. And step 3 is to prepare the data, isn't it? In preparation of data, what do I mean? You need to clean the data. You need to add columns. You need to impute, replace the values. Yeah, a lot of cleaning and preparation needs to be done. Arrange the data, absolutely correct. It's not that, oh, you go to the table and you've got everything that you need. You need to spend a lot of time in just preparing the data, the columns that you need, the level at or the information that you need that particular data at. If you have the missing values, you try to treat the missing values. If you have the text which is not in the clean format, you clean the text. If you have the date, you will try to clean the date so that you can create more columns from the date in order to analyze it. So you'll spend a considerable amount of time in cleaning your data and arranging your data. Now what happens next? Once you have a data, now just imagine the best case scenario where for solving that particular problem, you have got the data in the shape and the format with the cleanliness available to you. Now the next step in the process, can I say, would be to convert this data and apply statistics on it. Right? Statistics means mean, median, mode. You try to understand the spread of the data. You try to understand the core of the data using some statistical concepts. Right? Let me explain what do I mean by this. Say you are running a small ice cream store and you are very, just give me 1 second. Running a small ice cream store and you are a very tech savvy person who is capturing all the data that is required to run the store. And you capture this to information, temperature and sales in units. So the temperature was 10, the sales was 100. The temperature was 20, the sales was 200. Temperature was 30, the sales was 300. Temperature was 40, the sales was 400. Now, based on this pattern of the data, can you give me the answer? What will be the sales at 45 degrees Celsius? Any guesses? Anyone? If this is the pattern that we are observing, what do you think would be the sales at 45? Anyone? 450? Very good. Yes, the answer will be 450. If this pattern holds true, the answer will be 450, right? So what did you do here? I had this particular data. Can I say that we converted it into an equation? Equation is y is equal to 10x. This is the equation that we are using. I had a data, I converted it into an equation, y is equal to 10x. Now, if this is the statistics that I'm talking about, once you have got the data, once you have cleaned the data, prepared the data, you apply some statistics, you apply some equations on top of it. And once you apply this equation, can I say that this will help you predict the values better? This will help you make decisions much better. Because if you know that the sales of the units will be 450, will it help you plan your inventory better? Isn't it? You know that 450 units of ice cream is to be sold. So you'll go to the market and bring 450 units of ice cream. So will it help you make better decisions on inventory? Will it also help you make better decision on human resource? If you know that for every 100 units of ice cream, I need one person to handle the store. So I will have to plan to have at least 4 people to handle the store if I know that the sales will be 450. Right? Will it help you plan your cash flows better? If you know that 450 units of the ice cream needs to be purchased, in order to purchase 450 units of ice cream, you need to go to the market and buy it on cash. So can I say you will be able to plan your cash flows better? So once you convert this data, once you have this particular data, and if you apply stats, does it help you make better decisions? Will it help you guide into decision making? Right? Are you following along? If I have a data and if I apply statistics, I'll be able to make better decisions. But in this case, I'm using a small data source. So I'm able to do it on pen and a paper. But in reality, do you think you will have this tiny bit of data? In the real world, do you think you will be dealing with such a small data? No, you will be dealing with something called as a big data or large data. Now, if you are dealing with big data and if you have to apply statistics on this, can I say that you will have to take the help of the technology in order to apply statistics on this large amount of data? Can I say you'll have to take the help of the technology, right? People started with using calculators, then Excel. Now, can I say we need to go to the next step because the data has increased. So we need to use technology, right? With the help of the technology. So if you now get the whole process, what do we need to learn? We need to learn, can I say it starts with business problem, right? We go to data problem. This is a small summary, data problem, data preparation, right? Statistical analysis. Then we are making a decision. And in all of this, in the entirety of this, can I say we need in the entirety of the process, right from here, can I say that we'll have to use technology? This particular part, understanding the data, going to the data, preparing the data, using statistical language. In order to do all of these steps, we'll have to use technology. And this is what makes your data analysis process. So if I were to put this in technology, like in each step, which technology is to be used. So for the step one, which is to extract the data is stored in a database. Okay, the data is stored in a database, and the coding language that you have to use, the technology that you have to use, the language that you have to use. Anyone knows which language we prefer to use on a database? No. On a database, RDBMS, yes, it's a type of database. On a database, SQL is the coding language that works. It stands for Structured Query and Language. Okay, it stands for Structured Query and Language. Excel, do you think Excel will be able to store billions of records? Anyone thinks? No. Does Excel has, like, can multiple people use the same Excel sheet? It's very difficult, right? So concurrency is the issue. The space is an issue. That's why it is a database. And the first language that you need to learn is your SQL. So SQL is used for your data understanding, right? You want to convert that business into data, you have to use SQL to kind of understand the data and also prepare your data. Okay, so data extraction. Once you have understood the problem, you have got the data, you will have to extract the data. In that case, you will use SQL. Are you good till here? Any thoughts? Any questions? All okay? Okay. The step two. Now, once you have extracted the data, once you have got the data, we need to do the analysis and we need to do some heavy statistics, right? We need to apply stats and we also need to do visualization. So for that, for analysis of the data, there's one amazing coding tool called as, anyone knows? Python. So Python is that particular tool that can help you analyze large amount of data, advanced analysis, any statistical analysis that you want to do, any complex analysis you want to do. Python is a very, very beautiful tool to analyze your data. Yes, pandas. Absolutely correct. You can also use Excel. Okay, in order to analyze it, you can also use Excel, but with the condition that the data is small. Data is less than 100K rows. If your data is less than 100K rows and it's a one-time analysis, it's just like quick analysis that you want to do. It's one-time analysis. In that case, we have to use, if it's a one-time analysis and the data is small, even Excel is a very good place to learn. Okay, if you don't need to do any complex analysis with codes, if the data is small and it's a one-time analysis, Excel is a good tool to use. So Python for, say, large data and recurring analysis. Because is it possible to replicate what you do in one Excel sheet on the other Excel sheet? Anyone who has used Excel a little bit, do you find it difficult to redo the everything, redo the entire process all over again? Right? Let's say you are analyzing sales every week. It will be very, very difficult to do it in Excel because you cannot replicate it. Yeah, it takes a lot of time. Okay, so this is what you will use. And finally, when you have to present this information to the business stakeholders, to the technical, to the stakeholders who will be making a decision, will you be sharing your Python codes? Will they understand the Python codes? No, 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 no. So what do we need to do? We need to create a dashboards or we need to create a visualization. And that visualization can be done using your Tableau. Okay, so this is the tool that you have, Tableau/Power BI. This is a tool that you have which will help you visualize your data in order to help the persons make decision. Okay, so this is the journey that you need to travel. Get the data of SQL, get the data from SQL, analyze it using Python/Excel, and then present that particular data using Tableau or Power BI. Okay, this is the tool set. These are the tools that you need to learn. You can visualize. Again, it depends on how large is your data. Small data, you can visualize. Large data, no. Large data, you'll have to use the tool. If the audience is more than one person, then use Tableau. If the audience is only one person, then use Excel. Okay. So this is the entire roadmap journey that you need to do in order to capitalize on the market that is getting created where there's a lot of skill gap. And if you were to harness that particular skill gap, this is what you need to learn. Okay, so you have a data, you convert it into decisions, you do all your analysis. So you have a stored data, you extract that data, you analyze that particular data using Python, and then you make decisions. If you look at the whole cycle, it starts by understanding the business problem, converting it into the data problem, preparing the data, analyzing the data, generating insight, visualizing the data, and all over again. Okay, so this is the whole cycle that we need to follow. I just explained it. Start by understanding the problem, find out the data that can help you solve that particular problem, extract the data, prepare the data, analyze that particular data using statistical concept, get the insights, and present that insights using a tool of visualization, measure the impact of the decision, and the process starts all over again. Is this cycle making sense to everyone? Is everyone able to understand this? Any questions? Very good. All right. Now, if you look at it, can I say that data analytics is something which is probably used in every industry? Anywhere there is a data, can I say there will be a need for a data analyst or person who can analyze the data? Be it the power sector, be it the tech sector, be it travel sector, be it retail sector. Can I say every industry needs has a data, and if they have a data, they need a person to work on it, right? That's the amazing part. Inside the company, let's say you're working with Nestle. This is an example that I wanted to give you about Nestle. Nestle is a huge organization. In every part of Nestle, can I say that a data analyst will be required? For example, can I say a data analyst will be required in understanding which product we need to sell in which market? Can I say we'll have to rely on a lot of data and analysis to understand the product and the market, right? If you are producing that particular product, can I say you will have to do demand planning, you will have to do sales forecasting, you will have to do demand forecasting, right? If you have done demand forecasting, you know that XYZ units of some product will be required. Can I say you will also have to do your financial planning, scheduling? Again, all of this particular part, can I say relies on the data? financial planning, budgeting, commodity and purchasing. You need to rely on data for every small bit of it, right? Okay. Now once you have started processing that particular item, can I say that we also need to track the distribution? Where is the demand coming from? How much units is required in which area? Again, can I say that in this process of manufacturing, distribution, and logistic, analyst is required, right? Once the product goes into the market, you are doing the inventory planning, you are doing the fleet planning, you are doing the production management, you are doing the inventory management, you are doing supply chain management. Then you need to go into revenue management. What should be the price of the product, right? The product that we have, which we are selling, what is the best price that is available? So for pricing, I'm pretty sure you need like a large amount of data so that you accurately give the right price to the right set of customers. So you do a lot of planning on pricing, you do a lot of data analysis on pricing. And can I say for knowing the customers, to know the segments of the customers, to divide the customers into different groups and target them with a very customized way, in a very customized way. Again, can I say that we need to rely on data for making that decisions, right? And finally, when the customer gets converted, you need to build, you need to understand the feedback from them. You need to understand what they're liking, what they're into, because so that you're not left behind and you're able to come up with the new products to serve your customer. So in this whole process that you have seen, everywhere, can I say a data analyst is required? Right? So this is what I was talking about, that there's a huge scope with the amount of data that we are collecting and storing and capturing, along with different problem segments, right? You're not restricted to one industry, you're not restricted to one business vertical. It gives you an opportunity to work with different industries and different verticals. And that was makes this particular role a very, very important role in the coming future. So I have already given you the roadmap, like what you need to learn: SQL for data extraction, Python for data analysis, and Tableau for data visualization. So if you learn all of this, along with a lot of projects, because you'll have to show hands-on project to your, if you are trying to transitioning in, you'll have to do some projects. So if you do a lot of projects, plus learn all of this skill set, you are much better placed in the future in the job market. So this is a brief I wanted to give you about this particular domain. I'm pretty sure this would have excited you about like, what's the roadmap in order to learn the data analytics skill sets. So if you have any questions, I can take it up. Otherwise, I'll have Mohit who would give you how do you learn all of this, right? I've told you what you need to learn. I'm sure Mohit will present how do you learn everything that we just discussed. Okay, if you have any questions, feel free to shoot. Was it helpful to all of you? Unfortunately, I can't see anything in the questions tab. No, we don't eliminate it because we have to use Excel to present the data. Sometimes you just want to present the data. The best way to share the data is Excel. So it's not eliminated. Sometimes we have to do like quick analysis. Excel is a good tool for that. So please do not eliminate Excel. Excel was there in the past. It will be there in the future. But it is one of the important components of your learning journey. Okay. SQL is a structured query language that is used for extraction of the data from the database. It's a very simple language. Whatever you do in Excel, if just imagine that you were to write instruction, the codes on it, that is nothing but your SQL. So if you know a little bit about how to work on Excel, SQL is just writing codes instead of doing clicks. That's it. Great. Mohit, are you here?
Hello, Saurabh, and hello, everyone. How are you doing? Let me just share my screen.
You will be shared with the recording. So please, you will be shared with the recording. So, you can watch the recording whenever you get some time.
Hello, everyone. How is everyone doing today? Can I have some response in the chats? Amazing. So, first and foremost, let me just introduce myself. So, my name is Mohit, and I will be helping you understand that everything that you have understood about the data analysis, right? It's one of the most important skills at this point of time, as very well Saurabh has explained to you all, right? So you do understand that at this point of time, you must have understood. It is very important that from the organizations and the professional point of view, data is one of the most important currency of the businesses. And now you know that upskilling yourself and knowing the skills of analysis of data is going to be a lot more beneficial for you as a professional to progress in your career, right? So now, since as we have our problem statements defined, that yes, it is important for us as an individual and professionals to upskill in data analysis. Now, what are the ways, right? How are we required? What shall we do in order to learn data analysis and make sure that we are able to implement that amount of knowledge in the real world scenario in that is our jobs and businesses, right? So let us see. Now, there are certain aspects of learning data analysis, right? You can, of course, as any individual, there might be first things which come to mind, go through books, right? There would be a lot of content about learning data analysis, but just ask yourself, right? If you were to start learning anything on your own, would you be in a position to understand what exactly is required in the industry as what is the benchmark standard that the industry wants, right? It becomes really difficult and we usually get a lot of cluttered information and we lose out on the way what exactly is going to be helpful for your future career, right? Therein, it comes very important that you are learning a very structured manner what exactly should be learned by you as a professional and can be implemented by you in your organizations so that you can reap the benefit of your upskilling in your career progression, right? Now, there are certain aspects. So now you now know that it is always going to be helpful for you to have a mentored learning by professionals who understand what exactly is data analysis. They have been working in this profile for past many years, and they can show you the proper way in terms of building the required profile, which is going to be helpful for your future career. Other than that, it is also important for you to have a proper accreditation, right? The moment you have a proper accreditation in your profile, it is going to be immediately differentiating you from any other professionals for any sort of position, right? You not only have the skills, you also have the background accreditation to leverage that sort of skills and showcase that you are upskilled and you have a backing of one of the top university where University of Texas at Austin comes into picture, right? So as you might have seen, right? So University of Texas at Austin, let me just talk about it for a while, right? It is one of the oldest university in United States, a 150-year-old university, in fact, right? And it is among the top university in the world. So if you go to the website of QS World University Rankings, right, you will find that the McCombs School of Business, which is providing the Data Analytics Essentials program, is among the top 10 business schools all over the world in the field of analytics. And that is going to be the implications which you're going to be finding in this program. The curriculum and the structure and the standard of your education is going to be absolutely global class, right? And in this case, the program itself is going to be a 13-week long online mentorship program. So we are going to make sure that you are learning the skills of data analysis, but as required by the industries, nothing else, right? So that you, of course, can make a career progression ahead and you can leverage your skills of data analysis and become a professional that at this point of time are aspired by the organizations, right? Now, as you can see over the screen, this is going to be a 13-week long program, and there are hands-on projects that you do. You are going to be having your mentorship provided to you by both the industry experts such as Saurabh to make sure that you're not only learning these concepts of data science and data analysis, but also how to apply it in your own profile. Maybe you are from manufacturing, maybe you are from healthcare, maybe you're from retail and sales, right? So you all need different sort of upskilling. In this case, you are going to be helped by all the professionals. Now, let me give you an overview about this program. So it's a program which has been specifically tailored for the working professionals like yourself. And the focus of this program is to make you industry ready with the skills, all the skills of data analysis, including business intelligence, data visualization, and data analysis, so that you can be immediately ready to take on any challenges of your organization and solve your problems using data-driven decisions. So in this case, you are going to be given a lot of flexibility. Now, let me help you how your program is going to be delivered to you. So as a working professional, you might be thinking that, yes, it might be difficult for you to have your learning on the weekdays, right? What we have built the structure is that on the weekdays, you are not at all going to be bothered by any sort of time commitments, right? You are going to be having your conceptual module. So you learn the concepts of data analysis during your weekdays, and that will be from the faculty of Macomb School of Business. And the benefit of it is you can do it as per your time convenience. Whenever you are free during the entire day, you are free to complete your lectures and be done with it. It can be in the morning, it can be in the evening. But how you're going to get your application-based hands-on knowledge. So for that, you will be having your live session on the weekend. So every weekend, either on Saturday or Sunday, you are going to be having your live interactive session with an industry expert like Saurabh here, right? And the focus of this live session will be to help you understand all the application which can be done with the concepts that you have learned throughout the week. So you will be applying those concepts in real world scenario. For that, you will be doing more than 15 industry standard case studies. Understand how the organizations have taken up the problems of data analysis and then solved it so that they have focused on solutions of their business. You also learn from them. And then you will be making your own portfolio. Building your portfolio is absolutely imperative and important in this field to showcase your hands-on experience. You will be doing more than 3 industry standard projects under the guidance of the industry expert, that is, so that you know that your portfolio is going to be there and it is going to meet all the industry standards, right? In this case, your weekly time requirement that we have seen is going to be around 8 to 10 hours, but as you have seen, it is going to be a lot more flexible. So you are looking at 7 to 8 hours of your flexible learning and almost 2 hours of your learning in a live session. And the size of the best part is the size of the micro class is going to be only 25 learners. So you will be not losing on your personal guidance and attention. You can freely interact with the industry expert like Saurabh, and you will be learning everything according to your own requirement, right? And apart from this, we will also be supporting you to have an flawless experience in this program. Your program manager, for instance, is going to be assigned to you as your point of contact. You might have some challenges or doubts or queries at any point of time during your week, right? So your program manager is always going to be there by your side to assist you with those sort of challenges. And you can always expect yourself to be resolved of your challenges within 24 to 48 business hours, right? Once you have completed all your projects, your modules, and your assessments, you will be eligible to claim yourself the certificate of completion by the University of Texas at Austin, which will be an internationally recognized certificate. And it's going to be keeping yourself differentiated and distinguished in the absolute professional world as a professional meeting all the industry standard knowledge and skills of data analysis. Apart from that, your e-portfolio will also be prepared. So of course, you have worked on 3 industry standard projects. Your projects will be added to your portfolio, which you can always use to showcase your hands-on experience in your interviews. And apart from that, what we are looking at is finally, before we let you go, we will be giving you a dedicated comprehensive career assistance. So before leaving, we need to make sure that your profile is now relevant and can be sustained in the professional environment as a data proficient professional. So we will be reviewing your resume and your LinkedIn profile, and then we will be helping you upgrade it to the best of the industry standard. This is going to be helping you in increasing your visibility, your chances of shortlisting. Then after that, we will be preparing you for the interview. You will have your interview preparatory modules. You will have one-to-one counseling session with a counselor to then understand how to go through the process of interviews. How are you going to be showcasing your portfolio? What sort of opportunities lie best for you as considering your background expertise, right? And all of this will be comprehensively a part of this program, right? This program has been ongoing for the last 7+ years, and it has been absolutely successful. It has showcased more than 67% success for the professionals making a career transition into the field of data. And considering data analytics is one of the most absolutely fast, immensely fast growing pace industry, you are expecting and looking at some of the best career ahead of you as a data analyst or business intelligence officer or data visualization. Now, what exactly is going to be in this program, right? Let us go through it. So as you can see, the program is going to be structured very, very efficiently. So you start with everything from the basics, but the focus is that you need to upskill yourself to the advanced industry standard. For this, you will be starting with learning the concepts of Excel, the ability of yours and capability of yours to analyze data using advanced Excel formulas, right? Once you have done that, once you have understood what is the importance of statistics, then you start learning about programming languages such as SQL as well as Python, right? Once you start learning about SQL, it is going to be imperative for you to understand how intelligence is done, what sort of capabilities can you build to modify and query data. Filter data is very important before you can analyze it, right? So we will be going through your SQL learning, then you learn about Python programming to do your advanced level analysis. And Python is one of the most versatile programming language if you have ever seen, right? The fact being that it has such a huge library of inbuilt libraries for analytics just makes your work a lot more easier. And the capability of it to include statistical modeling is going to help you with your extrapolation as well, right? Now, once you have completed that, of course, we will be also helping you learn about data visualization. So for data visualization, you are going to be learning about how to use Tableau because, of course, you are going to be a professional who will be absolutely skilled in data analysis, but the stakeholders in your organization might not understand the data linguistics. So how are you going to be showcasing them the graphical representations in the best format? For that, you will be learning about how to visualize data as well in this program, right? So now we have this thing. Of course, you have understood what exactly are important in terms of building your data analytics skill set. There it is, right? You understand what are the tools and concepts of data analytics. You understand how to figure out a problem. You understand what is your expertise according to the domain that you are in. And then you start applying the concepts and the algorithms and techniques of data analysis to find yourself those data-driven decisions, which are going to be providing you an immense amount of accuracy and way forward for your career progression, right? Now here is the question, is this program for you? Of course it is. If you are thinking about staying relevant at this point of time in the professional environment, yes, this program is going to be immensely relevant for you. You need to be understanding that you are going to be learning data analytics at one point of time or the other. It is very much imperative, as you have already seen in the earlier slides, that the organizations are looking to hire more professionals with these skills of data analytics rather than people who are not having them. So it is really, really important. And at this point of time, since data analytics is going to be leading you into the domain of artificial intelligence in the future, it is absolutely imperative, right? This is the certificate you can see that you will be getting on your successful completion of the program, which is going to be offered by the University of Texas at Austin directly. And you can see your QR code, which you can scan to find your details mentioned in the repository of the university as well. Now, what is the process of selection in this program, right? So in this case, how you are going to be selected for this program, you apply for this program by a simple application form. This application form is absolutely free of cost. You are not going to be charged anything, but you are going to be getting your process started. Once your application form is filled, Your program advisor is going to be connecting with you, understand your profile, your requirement, and have a screening of your overall experiences. And once it is done, you will be, if in case you are going to be clearing it, you will be eligible for getting onboarded with this program. The admissions office will be selecting you and will be issuing you your offer letter. Now, as you can see, the fee of the program, it is 1,800 US dollars. Now, this is the entire fee of the program, which is 13 weeks long. And do not worry about a thing. You do have yourself the flexibility to pay it in installments, which will be very well explained to you by your program advisor. So I would first and foremost request you to go ahead. The application form has been already shared to you over the chat, and it is an immensely beneficial time for you to apply for this program. As you can see, the deadline of the application, it has been extended on the eve of the upcoming Easter, right? So it is 17th of April. You are going to be having yourself this application form open. And the moment your application is received by us, your program advisor will be connecting with you, explaining with you all the details about the program, apart from what I have already explained to you. And in this case, you might be the professional who can join this elite program and start focusing on how to become relevant for your future career, right? In this case, there might be a question in your mind, right? What is the collaboration between Great Learning and University of Texas at Austin? So this is a very important aspect for the professionals to understand. Now, the University of Texas at Austin, the Com School of Business, is providing the program. It's the academic partner for this entire program, the certificate, the curriculum of the program, the content, right? All of this will be given to you by the University of Texas at Austin. And as you can see, the Great Learning is going to be the delivery partner. So Great Learning takes care of your admission process and make sure that you are always going to be assisted at all times. Your program manager, for instance, will be available for you 24/7, and they will be from Great Learning, which is going to make sure that you are not facing any sort of issues in your entire experience of the program, right? So here comes the overall details about the program. I'll just repeat it again. The application form link is already in the chat window. I would expect you all to go ahead and fill up your application form, which is free of cost. Now, apart from that, if in case you are having any questions, please do go ahead and ask them from me. I'm going to make sure that I address each and everything to make sure that you are clear with everything about the program and your future. Go ahead. So, any questions? Yeah, please. Dr. Famina Sayed, please go ahead and type your questions in the chat box. That is good to know, Edmund, that you have understood the program as well as the implications of data analytics for the future. I hope we will be seeing you very soon after you have filled up the application. Yeah, Mr. Sayed, please go ahead. Sayed, if you want to ask the question, you can just type it in. Yes, Famina Sayed, is there a question? All right. So will we be getting the downloadable videos for us? If you're talking about this webinar, yes, the recording will be shared to you. But if in case you're talking about the downloadable videos of the once you're in the program, so I'll just let you know, right? Once you're enrolled in the program, you do get the access to an LMS portal, right? So you do get your entire modules on your LMS portal itself. It is going to be there for you throughout your entire journey of this program, right? So there will not be a problem for you, and you would not be required to go ahead for downloading it, right? But if in case you are asking me about this webinar, the recording will be shared with you, of course. Yeah, of course, Sasina. It is, of course, an essential course and the next step for you to be a certified analyst, right? It is going to be an amazing and imperative program, which is going to make sure that this is going to be helping you for your future career. So this is a program which differentiates itself from other program because you are going to be mentored here and going to be guided here. These two things are very important for the professionals to understand, right? They always get cluttered and lose their way in terms of meeting the requirement of the organization. What you may learn as concepts might not be needed by the organization. They need certain hard skills about solving business problems. Do you have them? It is going to be very difficult for you without having any background in it to understand. It is just a simple case, right? You might be a professional in your respective field. And do you think that any fresh professional is going to meet your standard knowledge without just by going through certain conceptual clarity of it? Or would it be better that they learn from you and within a month or two, they learn everything in that sort of standard that you are already having expertise? That is what this program is all about, right? So, Syed, not the webinar. So in this case, once you enroll in the program, you do get the access to the LMS portal, right? The videos are the lectures and the modules will always be there on the LMS portal. You can go through it, right? Um, Apart from that, the live session will be held on the weekend, right? If in case you ever miss out on it, it is not advised that you do, but if in case you do, you can always request your recording of the weekend session by the program manager. I hope I just clarified for you, right? Emmanuel, I'm doing very well. I hope you are too. So, Vivian, you have asked, will there be a practical assessment? So yeah, of course. In this case, once you start doing your modules, right, you will have your associated assessments and practice sessions, right, problems. So you have to do this because you will be revising and practicing those concepts before your live session. This way you will have certain doubts in your mind, which you can clearly ask your industry expert and get yourself cleared on. So you will have your practical assessments, of course, but there will be no examinations. It's a continuous evaluation program, right? Yeah, so the class session, Femina, is going to be the live session that I believe you're talking about. So if you're going to be attending it, yes, of course, you will be getting the recording. You can just request it from your program manager, right? So if in case we have gone through all the questions, and if it is clear for all of you, I'm looking forward to help you get to the place where at this point of time, the world is moving towards, right? Looking forward to have you on this program. If in case you have seen the application link, do go ahead and fill up the application form. If in case not, I'm just going to be sharing it to you again so that you can fill up the application form. And of course, looking forward to see you and help you with the admission process, right? It is the Easter month. You might be eligible for, based upon your candidature, certain good uh, benefits as well at this point of time. So do not lose out on this opportunity. Looking forward to have you all on board, right? All the very best. Let me just take my time and we can then close this webinar today. I hope it was good for all of you. Right? So, all right. All right, take care. See you very soon, right? All the very best. And let's get stop this recording, right?